The concept of a Satanic New World Order is a notion that has been perpetuated by various conspiracy theories, suggesting that a group of powerful individuals or organizations are seeking to control and manipulate the world's population. One of the alleged tools being used to achieve this goal is the propaganda surrounding global warming. According to this ideology, the supposed elite are using the threat of climate change to impose their will on the masses, restricting individual freedoms and shaping the world according to their desires. Proponents of this theory argue that the scientific consensus on global warming is exaggerated or even fabricated, and that the true purpose of the climate change narrative is to justify the implementation of draconian policies and regulations that will ultimately lead to a loss of personal liberties. They claim that the Satanic New World Order is using the fear of environmental catastrophe to manipulate public opinion and push for a one-world government, where individual nations and cultures will be subsumed by a single, authoritarian entity. One of the key tactics allegedly being employed by the Satanic New World Order is the use of propaganda and disinformation to shape public perception of global warming. This includes the manipulation of scientific data, the suppression of dissenting voices, and the promotion of a simplistic, alarmist narrative that portrays climate change as an existential threat requiring immediate and drastic action. By creating a sense of urgency and panic, the proponents of this theory argue that the elite are able to justify the implementation of radical policies, such as carbon taxes, clean energy mandates, and strict regulations on industries and individuals. Furthermore, some advocates of this ideology believe that the Satanic New World Order is using global warming propaganda to justify the creation of a new world economic order, one that will be based on a system of carbon credits and green technology. This, they argue, will allow the elite to accumulate even more wealth and power, while the masses are forced to adapt to a new, austere way of life. The promotion of sustainable development and green growth is seen as a Trojan horse, the way to impose a radical, socialist agenda on the world, where individual rights and freedoms are sacrificed for the sake of a collective. In addition, the Satanic New World Order is also accused of using global warming propaganda to promote a culture of fear and guilt, where individuals are made to feel responsible for the supposed destruction of the planet. This, proponents of the theory argue, is a classic tactic of psychological manipulation, where the elite use the media and education system to shape public opinion and create a sense of collective guilt and shame. By promoting the idea that humans are the primary cause of climate change, the Satanic New World Order is allegedly able to justify the imposition of strict controls on individual behavior, such as restrictions on travel, diet, and consumption. Despite the complexity and sophistication of this conspiracy theory, it is essential to approach it with a critical and nuanced perspective. While it is true that the issue of global warming has been politicized and sensationalized, and that some individuals and organizations may be exploiting the issue for their own gain, it is also important to recognize the scientific consensus on climate change and the need for urgent action to address this global challenge. Rather than attributing the threat of climate change to a Satanic New World Order, it is more productive to focus on the real-world implications of global warming and the need for collective action to mitigate its effects. In conclusion, the idea that the Satanic New World Order is using global warming propaganda to oppress humanity is a complex and multifaceted conspiracy theory that reflects deep-seated fears and anxieties about the nature of power and control in the modern world. While it is essential to approach this ideology with a critical eye, it is also important to recognize the underlying concerns and values that drive this narrative, and to engage in a constructive and respectful dialogue about the future of our planet and the role of individual freedoms and collective action in shaping that future.